So if you're asking if the most commonly used pesticide in Iowa potentially causes cancer, the answer is not no, it is probably. Yikes. Hey everyone, it's Avery with your weekly Iowa News Roundup. Let's get into it. If you've been following Iowa Starting Line, you're probably aware that we are publishing an investigative series on the state's cancer crisis. The latest edition to that series asks, do pesticides cause cancer? Iowa has the only rising cancer rate in the country, and coincidentally, or not, we also use the most pesticides out of any other state. 3/4 of Iowa's land area is used for crops and pastures. The total number of farms has decreased over the years, but that's because corporate farms have been buying out family farms for decades. That growth was powered by advances in technology like GPS-guided tractors and soil sensors, as well as massive increases in pesticides applied to farmland. And by massive, I mean 53 million pounds applied across the state each year. Do pesticides make farms more productive? Yes. But long-term research is suggesting that they're harming Iowans. As an example, atrazine used to be one of the most commonly used pesticides in the state. Initially, an ongoing National Institute of Health study focused on pesticide exposure found no link between atrazine and cancer in 2011. But the same researchers using the same study population with additional years of data revised their findings in 2024 to say atrazine is associated with multiple forms of cancer, most notably of the lung. The most widely used pesticide in the state and world is glyphosate, found in Roundup, and it has been classified by the International Agency for Research on Cancer as probably carcinogenic. So if you're asking if the most commonly used pesticide in Iowa potentially causes cancer, the answer is not no, it is probably. Yikes. So while Iowa legislators try to make it more difficult for families impacted by pesticide exposure to seek reparations from the companies manufacturing these chemicals, Iowans are getting cancer more than any other population in the country. Next up, Jackie Norris, a fourth Democrat, has launched a campaign against U.S. Senator Joni Ernst. Norris is the current chair of the Des Moines School Board, and her platform focuses on what she's calling invisible burdens facing Iowa families, things like the mental health crisis, childcare shortages, and elder care. This U.S. Senate race is supposed to be one of the most competitive races of next year's midterms. The other Democratic candidates are Iowa State Senator Zach Walz, State Rep J.D. Schulten, and Nathan Sage, a former Marine and Knoxville city official. Republicans have had control of all levels of Iowa government since 2017, but Joni Ernst has been in the news for some recent controversies that might shake up her chances, even as the incumbent. She came under fire from the MAGA crowd for being skeptical of Pete Hegseth's Secretary of Defense nomination, citing interviews where he expressed his belief that women should not serve in combat roles in the military and a past assault allegation. And more recently, she responded to a town hall participant expressing the very real concern that massive Medicaid cuts will cost people their lives, saying, "We all are going to die."
They are not eligible, so they will be coming off. So people are not, well, we all are going to die.
Side note, that town hall participant is running for an Iowa state seat. Her name is India May, and she's running in House District 58, which represents Chickasaw County and some of the surrounding area. With Norris running the race, Democrats have a lot of candidates to choose from for their nominee, and if they play their cards right, maybe the tides could turn. Last, this is a story we published a while ago, but I think it's too important not to share at every opportunity. Starting Line intern Victor interviewed queer and trans Iowans who have fled the state because, in their words, it progressively got worse. This summer, Iowa became the first state in the country to walk back civil protections for trans and non-binary people. And that includes me, so as I'm speaking to you right now, I have lost civil rights in my home state. That means thousands of people like me have lost the legal protections to our employment and our housing. The last few years have been a sharp turn for queer and trans people in the state of Iowa. The legislature banned trans girls from participating in girls' sports, enacted a Don't Say LGBTQ+ law, took away gender-affirming care for youth, and also banned trans youth from using public bathrooms and facilities that align with their gender identity. Lawmakers also passed a religious exemptions law that allows any person or organization to skirt anti-discrimination laws if they say it goes against their religious beliefs. And those are just a few of the anti-LGBTQ laws that have passed. The last few legislative sessions have harbored really harmful debates on drag bans, trans adult health care, LGBTQ+ topics in schools, conversion therapy, and even marriage equality. The folks interviewed in this story described the impact that those policies and debates have had on their lives, from experiencing increasing interpersonal hatred to being denied essential health care. They cite these experiences as reasons that they do not want to live, work, and raise their families in Iowa anymore. And Iowa is going to feel those impacts on its culture and economy sooner rather than later. That's all for this week's news roundup. If you're looking to support more of my team's work, there's a few things you can do. Number 1, subscribe to our YouTube channel for these weekly roundups, full episodes of our podcast Cornhole Champions, and more. Number 2, follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Iowa Starting Line, Blue Sky at iowastartingline.com, and X at IA Starting Line. Number 3, subscribe to any and all of our weekly newsletters at iowastartingline.com/newsletter. We have one for Cornhole Champions to get episodes right to your inbox, Workers Almanac for labor news, a flagship newsletter, and a special edition newsletter for our ongoing investigative series, The Hotspot, Investigating Cancer in Iowa. Everything you need for all of those is in the episode description below. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you next week.